It's been a while. I've been all over the place the past few months. I shaved my head, and a lot's happened. I'm making this video because I initially planned to take a longer break from all of this. I didn't have any intention of coming back sooner. And it's because I could not bear getting on a camera, speaking to you guys, knowing that I was the worst version of myself. I was haunted by a thought a few months ago that I needed to start living up in private what I was telling you guys to do. I just got off the phone with, I want to say, a mentor of mine. For those of you that know my story, I was in the military from 2018 to about 2021. And in the military, I had a mentor. He goes by the name Arthur. Arthur Finley. And we just had a about 2-hour long conversation that reminded me of something I already knew, but I needed to hear it in that moment, and I'm going to extend that message to you guys. First of all, recently I've been in a difficult place mentally. All over the place. Up until last year, being 24 years of age, I never loved anything or anyone. I chose not to because I knew at a very young age that to love was to be insane to a degree. To love means you are guaranteeing pain. And by the grace of some omniscient, magnificent, forgiving God that watches over me, I had an opportunity to love a human. And I did not know how to do that. By any stretch of imagination, I failed. I beat myself up. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I don't know if anyone's ever been brutally destroyed by love. No, I don't mean in the sense that someone hurt you. I'm speaking more in the manner of you made a conscious choice to harm someone. Now, granted, I didn't harm anyone physically, but I wrecked this person emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror for months. I was so angry at myself for failing that anger shined outwardly to the world, to the people that I knew, that I was in close proximity with. So I'm having a conversation with one of my mentors from when I was in the military, and me and him have stayed in contact to a degree. We've stayed in touch. Not all the time, but we've stayed in touch. And we talk about love. Just strange that was the topic. We talked about our childhoods and our trauma, just like everyone else has trauma and a tough childhood, a difficult upbringing. And I mentioned to him how just a few weeks ago, I got a phone call from my cousin. It seems like she was out of breath, almost crying, I'm not sure. She says, hey, I just got off the phone with my dad. He's in Vietnam with your father. Your father feels like he doesn't have much time left and he just wants us to come see him. And I felt nothing. I don't hate my father. And I don't love my father. There is an absence of hate, but there is also an absence of love. I like to call it neutrality. So we have a conversation. We talk. I'm talking about my mentor. And we're talking about the amount of work that it takes to not only love others, but to love ourselves first so that it shines outwardly. We talked about how if you're full of hate and you hate yourself and you're angry at yourself, you're going to hate everyone around you. You're going to be angry at almost everything, which I was for a very long time. I posted on my community tab, I made a post about how I was going through the ebbs and flows of life. When I was 23, I had this delusional dream that I was going to be a millionaire by 24. It didn't happen. But I remember I went to my grandparents' house. And I hadn't seen my family in years since I left the military. It's probably been like 4 years, 5 years, 6. And I made a decision to go just so that my father can see that I'm here with family. My aunt and my uncle start asking me about what I want to do in my life, and I try to keep it private. I didn't want them in my business, but they kept pushing, so I said, okay, let's just see what they say. My aunt says, hey, so what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. I just know I'm going to be a millionaire by 24 and take care of my mother. And she said, no, impossible. You dream big. You're just like your father. He dreamed big. And my father isn't necessarily the poster child of turning his dreams into reality. I was so angry for so long. Not at her, or I thought I was angry at her, but I was more angry that she said something and made me confront my deepest fear, which is, I might just be like my father. I might just be my father's son. And I was so angry and I never knew why. I thought it was her. I thought I was angry at her. But all along, I was angry that she said something that I've been trying to avoid my whole life. I always swore to myself that I would never be like my father. I always swore to myself that I'd be better. But I had traits similar to him. I am his child after all. And it haunted me. I was so scared and so terrified that I held on to that anger, and it was a powerful fuel, but it's toxic when you hold on to it for so long. Yeah. Earlier this year, on the front end of this year, I failed for possibly the 4th or 5th time in my life. For those of you that don't know, I trade for a living. No, I am not profitable. I do YouTube purely to help, to extend whatever word or messages I may have on my mind in hopes that someone hears it at the right time. I don't make a living off this. That's why I took a break from it. In the front end of this year, I failed. I could show you guys a screenshot of my bank account balance. I had less than $100 to my name. I went and picked up 2 jobs to try to raise capital to give it another shot. And I did. And during that time, I was so angry, so scared. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because there was just fear that I might not be able to do it. There was so much doubt and uncertainty. I said, dude, this isn't working out for me. I don't know what I should do. And that fear and that anger towards myself, I pushed that on the people around me that really loved me. You gotta forgive yourself. Shortly after I got those 2 jobs, I quit. And I gave trading a shot again. And I failed. And that was when I said, I don't know anymore. So I went and found a way to get $10,000. And I gave it a shot again. And by the grace of whatever is beyond me, I am still in the fight. After not giving up for 6, 7 failures now. You gotta forgive yourself. People always talk about how you have to forgive the people that wronged you. Forgive your parents. It was their first shot at life. Forgive the people that spoke badly about you. But I've come to the realization that it isn't about forgiving them. It's about forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for feeling helpless, forgiving yourself for losing control, forgiving yourself for not speaking up. Forgive yourself. Look in the mirror and instead of all the hate and anger that you have boiled up inside, you look in the mirror and you say, I love you. Which was something that has been so hard for me to do. I never loved a single human in my life, not even me, not even my own mother, because I knew that love was insanity. And I almost hate saying this because it proves that I'm wrong. And it proves that this person was right. But you cannot love anything or anyone if you do not first love yourself. There's a paradox in selfishness and selflessness. My mentor, he said, you have to be selflessly selfish to work on the things within you so that you can give that to others. You cannot give anything to others when you are empty inside. There's the idea of putting yourself first. There's the idea of unconditional love where you put other people first. And I always thought, because I never knew what love was, I always thought that love means you put yourself last, put other people first. But I now realize that true love is putting yourself first for the sake of other people. It's for them because they deserve the best version of you. And the best version of you can only come into fruition if you can look in the mirror and just say, I love you. I never knew how to do that. I always thought that I'd be weak if I did, but I grew up this very angry kid, full of hurt, full of pain. I never knew how to love. It was I never knew what it was. I just knew that I was love, that it's here, I don't know how I'm going to bring it into reality. I know it's here. It starts with forgiving yourself. To look in the mirror and say, it's okay. Like, truly be free of the people that you let down. Be free of that guilt and that shame. I don't know if any of you ever consciously made a decision to harm someone that you love, knowing the consequences, but that stuff like that doesn't leave you, man. Unless you're some extremely self-centered human, like, you feel guilt, shame. I want to tell you guys a story of someone I know. And this person had a wife. And this person would do a lot of things wrong to his wife. Never put hands on her, but he would be unfaithful. And this person, his wife, never left his side. Ever. And he would tell her, leave me. And she never did. After unfaithfulness, and he would ask her why, and she said, I just knew. He said to me, I saw the way that she looked at the universe. I saw the love that she had and the way she viewed the world, the things that she believed in. And I was not that. Guess what happened? They're still together with a family now. And some of you may say, oh, she needs to respect herself. She needs to have boundaries. Guess what? Her love transformed him. It was because of her love, the work that she did on herself when she was younger, and the decision that she made to love, that literally transformed him, because he saw it and he could not believe his eyes. How could this human still love me after this? He felt so unworthy. And he knew it too. I tell you this story because love is one of the most transformative things in this world. It may take time. Some people are more patient than most. But I watched a man full of anger and pain be transformed by true unconditional love. It's real. I don't care what anyone says. To stand by someone that's doing nothing but pushing you away, to stand by someone that's doing nothing but being unfaithful, and yet you stay. Not because you believe you can change this person, but because you love yourself so much that you've transformed from your own love for yourself, that you stay with someone that's harming you just to see him transform. Like, that's unconditional love, and that is awareness of the power of love. So how do we get there? Because I'm still figuring it out too. I'll tell you this much. Beneath every action that, I'm just going to use the term negative so that we can understand it. Beneath every negative action or character trait or behavior trait, it's anger and fear that's just lying dormant, that just kind of creates these tree branches that create other emotions. If you're angry and you're scared of something, It's going to create another branch and it'll lead to jealousy or envy, self-centeredness, lack of vulnerability, lack of wanting to create adult connections and bonds. Because it's fear, it's anger, it's something. Sadness. A great place to start, and this is what worked for me. I don't think I have this figured out all the way just yet. But thus far, the conclusion that I've come to is this is your first shot at life. And I'll be damned if you are hard on yourself for not getting it right the first time, because no human did. They say with age comes wisdom. Some say with experience comes wisdom. Who knows? But one thing is, time will open the door for you to experience things, for you to feel things, and you'll gain wisdom from that. So perhaps it is experience. Perhaps it's both time and experience. I needed to hear that today, speaking with my mentor. How he reminded me that it took everything out of him to love himself, to forgive himself, and to not beat himself up for his mistakes that he cannot take back. But instead, he chose to be liberated from it, to change, and to say, despite what I did, that does not have to be who I am. Despite what I did before, I can rewrite what I choose to become and what I choose to do onward. And I had to hear that, man. Because I've been beating myself up for the past 5 months. I felt like I've been letting you guys down. Some of you guys look up to me, man. And I tell you guys, dude, look up to someone else. I am a broken, lost 25-year-old man who is arrogant, self-centered, swears that he has everything figured out, and continues to make the same mistakes over and over. And all that he has left after the mistakes and failures and the arrogance and the ego are lessons that he's learned from his own wrongdoings. And all he does is makes YouTube videos for you guys, hoping that you can avoid the road to hell. I had to forgive myself because I felt like I was letting you guys down. Yeah, I read your guys' comments. Yeah, I see the emails. I see it all. And I know that some of my videos and some of the things that I've said has positively created an impact and helped you guys. And I felt so unworthy because behind closed doors, I looked in the mirror and I said, look at me. Who am I? Look at how I'm treating people. Look at what I truly talk about when I'm not on camera. Look at my behaviors. And I couldn't. I was so scared to get on here because I feared the judgment of a few people. Because those people seen the worst side of me, and I was scared that if I got on camera and showed a positive side, I would get ridiculed and bashed for being unauthentic and for being fake and fraudulent. But guess what? I'm here. Because after hearing that story of how love transformed that person, and I'm not talking about my mentor, I'm talking about someone else, I realized that my belief in what love is remains true. I believe in unconditional love. That is what I believe in because I've seen it. I believe in unconditional love because I've seen people get abused, harmed and hurt, and they still love. Some people will say lack of boundaries. Some people will say they don't respect themselves. I say they're stronger than you. They have more courage than you. More courage than me. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, can I, for one goddamn second, just stop being so egotistical? And can I just try to embody the type of love that I think humans need, that this world needs? I couldn't. I failed. And for the past few months, I was haunted by that. But then I'm here now to tell you that it is okay. You were not meant to figure it out the first time, because if you did, there would be nothing to learn. And if there's nothing to learn, there's nothing to teach. And you'll notice in life, it's a constant cycle of one person who got it wrong, figured out how to do it right, taught people how to do it right. Those people tried and did it wrong and kept teaching. Life is nothing but iteration, from human to human, from generation to generation. It's iteration, error correction. One generation will try to correct the next generation's errors. That generation will make its own errors and try to correct it and teach the next generation. And it continues. You're just a human. Be hard on yourself, yeah, because you can do more. The source of who you are, the essence of who you are, is infinite energy. Powerful. Beyond what you can imagine. If you don't believe me, look at some of the people that have done unfathomable things that you can't even believe or comprehend. Look at the warriors like Goggins. Look at the geniuses like Musk. Look at the creators like Jobs. Look at the Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They all of them access something that each of us have within us. And I don't know what you want to call it. You can call it Jesus, you can call it God, you can call it energy, infinite intelligence, source, the void, the Akash, the ether, higher self, nirvana. I don't care, but it's there. And it's nothing but love, compassion. It's gently fierce. Patiently aggressive, submissively demanding, and selflessly selfless. You gotta forgive yourself, because one day you're gonna die. And that's what gives life its meaning. Death is what gives life its meaning. To know that our days are numbered. You're gonna die one day, and I promise you, you are not going to regret loving people just a little bit more. I heard something a while back, and someone said, there's gotta be the happiest person on earth. He has to be there. And if not, screw it, I'll be him. I'll take on the burden. And I said, wow, what a great frame. I heard it from a podcast. It's Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom with Naval Ravikant. And so, quite similarly, I have adopted it, and I said, there's got to be someone out there that can truly love unconditionally. They are so, they've done so much work on themselves that they just love everything around them. With pure intentions and with absolute purity and kindness and compassion and empathy and patience and gentleness. They love themselves so much that there's so much progression, and they just want to see other people progress as well. And if that person isn't out here, why not I'll take on the burden. Because the last thing you want to do is grow up old, become resentful and bitter, and just try to justify all your wrongdoings. Because that path leads you down a road of pure destruction, isolation, and chaos. The first step is acknowledging, like everything, recognition. And for me, I looked in the mirror and I forgave myself for hurting the people that I truly, truly cared about. For letting them down. And I stopped beating myself up over it. And I told myself, it's okay. I have forgiven myself. And that's all that matters. Because if you don't, your happiness and your peace will be contingent on if they forgive you. But when you forgive yourself, you know that won't happen again. You have to be selflessly selfish and work on yourself in order to share that light within you with the entire world. Sometimes you want to run. You want to avoid the thing that haunts you, the fear, the voice, the shadow that just creeps over you. And you want to run. But my question to you is, how much longer until you burn out? People talk about surrender. Some people surrender to Christ, to God, whatever. I don't know who you should surrender to, what you should surrender to, but I will say that there is something out here and in you that is pure divine love. I don't know what we can call it. There's a lot of names for it. Higher consciousness, source, there's a bunch of names. God, Christ, the Christ within, the kingdom of heaven, whatever. You have to surrender this unit, this body, to that thing that you cannot see, but you feel it. And I know that you do, because we all do. I know that you know it is there, and it's you. Not this you, not this. A version of you that do not obey the laws of physics. It's you. You without a name. You with no voice, with no figure. Pure, absolute stillness. Surrender to that. And let that take this body where it must go. Let that put this body through whatever is required to experience love. And it is not beautiful like you think. You must die. Your old self must be burnt to ashes so you can be reborn. That's the symbolism of the phoenix. Does not mean you disassociate with who you are. I was just thinking about this the other day, and I said to myself, I have failed younger me, because for so long, or even any past version of me, I failed them all because I was so angry at who they were. I said, I'll never be like that person again. The old me is dead. I killed him. And I was wondering why I just kept repeating old habits and cycles. And it's because I didn't love those versions of me. I hated them. I wanted to disassociate with them so much. Can you imagine how someone would feel if you said, I never want to be like you? I hate you. I spoke those words to versions of myself that deeply needed to be seen, to be heard, to be felt, to be understood. And even worse, I gave that responsibility to other humans. There is one person that can be there for all the versions of you, the little you, and it is current you. Because the only person that knows you is current you. You cannot outsource giving love to yourself, and you cannot outsource that and trust that to someone else. Not because people will let you down, but because there is nothing more powerful than self-love. Because to love yourself, this singular unit, means you love the collective. You love the single unit, and by default, you will love everyone around you. I dare you to try to love yourself and see how you treat people. I dare you to love yourself and see how much more understanding you are towards people. I dare you to love yourself and see how selfless you become. And if you don't believe me, then I dare you to be selfish. No, I don't mean selfish like self-love. I mean selfish like you're only out for yourself. I dare you to be angry, to hate the world, to hate yourself, to be angry at yourself, to be angry at the versions of you. I dare you. And see how you treat people. See how you treat the world. Don't believe me? Give it a shot, man. I've been the angry one already, full of pain and anger, self-destructive. And I only self-destructed everyone around me, and I only wreaked havoc on everyone around me. My misery, it shined like a dark light, and everyone felt it. You know how modern day language people say, oh, his vibe is cool? That's vibration, that's energy. No, this is not some mystical, spiritual nonsense. Do the research. From a metaphysical level to a quantum level. Your energy is felt and exchanged between everyone that you interact with. When you're full of love, you radiate that love outwardly. When you're full of hate, you radiate that hate outwardly. Please forgive yourself. This is your first shot at life. And who knows, it might be your last. It's hard, I know. I get it. Maybe not what you're going through, but I can be a little empathetic in regards to what's hard. I've had my own hard. I mean, granted, I'm blessed. I have a great life. But I've self-destructed already. That does not mean you have to do the same. That does not mean that you have to end up like the version of yourself that went nowhere. Ask yourself, what must I do to progress? Because I believe that at the end of the day, each and every single one of us has a role. Think of us as little cells, and think of the entire earth and its people, the galaxy, the cosmos, as the whole body. Things fall out of order when the little cells try to just do other things. and know what it's supposed to. And then you might ask, well, what are you supposed to do? That's a great question. That's fair. And if you don't know what to do, then I will say this. Whatever you decide to do, make sure that it benefits the entire collective. I do that by means of making videos and sharing my story and my lessons and whatever's on my mind. And that benefits the collective. Maybe not on a grand level, but it touches some of you guys. And that's all that matters to me. I hate to say this because that means I'm wrong. And my pride and my ego hates being wrong, but you cannot pour out of an empty cup. And the only way to fill your cup is by going to the water fountain, the infinite fountain of youth, and obtaining that precious water so that you can share it with everyone else. For anyone that doesn't understand the metaphor, what I am saying in a nutshell is, it's really hard to take care of people, to love people, when you're empty and dead inside. So you must travel. No, not literally, but you must go someplace where you reconnect with who you really are, so that you can rejuvenate yourself, so that you can die and be reborn, so that you can create someone else. And then once that person has come here, once you have gripped that image of who that person is and brought that person into reality, only then can you really see what you're capable of. Because now look at the positive impact that you're leaving. Find a way to serve. Find a way to benefit the collective. Please forgive yourself. Don't be so angry at yourself anymore. Don't be angry at where you're at in life and where you're not. If you were meant to be somewhere else, you would. Don't be angry at your circumstances. If you were meant to be this and that, you would. There's a saying that goes, a beginner blames people. An expert blames himself. A master blames nothing. Because everything just is. So, outside of the whole philosophical talks, practically, I encourage you to do the following. Establish a rhythm. Now, a lot of intelligent people don't enjoy routine because they're so expansive. Like, they feel like a routine actually traps them. They're expansive, which is why you'll see a lot of like really smart people. It's hard for them to commit to anything because in their mind they're like, why? I must expand, I must grow. Fair. But if you're in a place where you're full of anger and hate and your life just is in shambles, what's worked for me and what's helped me kind of regain power so that I have within the palms of my hands the ability to influence this field of perception so that I can grip from the back of my mind the dream that I have and pull it into reality. I had to create a rhythm first. As a matter of fact, there was already a rhythm created. Let me tell you a little bit about it. My rhythm was laziness, blame, anger, hate, self-destruction, constantly overthinking, and no growth. There's stagnation is okay. It's consolidation, right? It's not down, it's not up, it's sideways. It's like limbo. It's stalling. I wasn't in consolidation. I was in the downfall. I had to get back into a rhythm. And for me, I built a rhythm off of things that I knew would make me a little bit better. I had to return to the basics. The thing that I talked shit on in this channel, the fucking positive thinking and the affirmations and the power of belief and morning routines, the shit that I would talk shit on because I actually didn't think that was necessary in order to get what you want. But I will tell you this, it is extremely necessary if you want to become a better version of who you are. Everyone has a routine. Holy crap. Some people have a 5-hour morning routine of grounding and sauna and meditation and this. Some people have a 5-hour morning routine of deep work. Some people just work. That is their routine. Their routine is work. And I couldn't comprehend that. I know some people out there will say, Thompson, you're such a hypocrite. You don't believe what you say, and you didn't say this last time. And my response to anyone that thinks that is, I would hope so. A lot of the things I say in the past they're highly contextual. They come in the moment, they go in the moment. And I will change from time to time. So I would hope that I don't believe what I once believed. I would hope that I don't live how I once lived. That would, by definition, mean I am growing. So get into a rhythm. And make sure that in this rhythm, you are doing things that are harmonious, that flow. Do things that will help you be of service to people. Do things that will help you love yourself just a little bit more. For me, I take care of my body. I try to. For me, I now have to look in the mirror and look at myself in the eyes and say, I love you. I have to freaking do the affirmations again. I thought I let that go back in 2020. But who am I to be so arrogant, naive, and self-centered to think that I am better than the universe? I now have to affirm positive beliefs back into this system that we call our brains, our minds. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm loved and I give love, but beyond that, you take that up a notch and you just say you are love. Look, you made mistakes and some people will only know you for your mistakes. And there will be a select few, and I have those people in my life who knew me when I was 19 and extremely naive, and yet they love me. And they never talk about who I was, and they don't even call me a fraud because they get it. Like, they see growth and they just accept me for growth. I hope that you have those people in your life as well. I hope that you don't just have people that remember who you were. When I left the military and I came back home a few years back, no one could accept me for who I've become because they were too stuck on who I was. They couldn't know me now because they were too stuck on when. And it is your ego that keeps trying to justify your growth. It is your ego that keeps trying to prove something. Just be it. Let's not waste any more time debating what a good man or a good woman is. Just be a good man, be a good woman. And if you made mistakes that made you feel like you're not good, I want to give you a parable that I enjoy. It's a story, and I'm taking it out of context. But it goes like this. A son goes to his father and says, "Father, I'm not a good person. I think I'm evil. I'm not good. I'm a bad person." The father looks over to his son, smirks a little bit and says, "Son, the truly evil person will never, ever think that he's evil. The truly bad person could never admit that they're bad. So you are far greater than you can ever imagine." And that's always stuck with me, because I believe that. I believe that recognition of your wrongdoing is confirmation of the good within you. And the denial of your wrongs is a confirmation of your inherent evil. It's a lot of jargon. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you know you're fucked up, if you know you're a bad person, you might be a good person. If you don't think you're a bad person, you might just be pure evil. I missed you guys, man. I hope whoever was able to listen to 52 minutes of this found something useful. And I hope that this video reached you at the perfect time. You, my friend, are going to be okay. Remember, nothing's really hard. It's our desire for ease that makes everything challenging appear difficult. You're not bound to be like that forever. You will change, and you will grow at your own pace. Give yourself a little bit of breathing room and remind yourself that this is your first shot at life. I'm a fan of being tough on yourself. I am learning to be kinder to myself. And I hope you can do the same. No, we are not perfect, which is what makes us irreplaceable. You have a far, far, far journey ahead of you, full of ups and downs. And I will be damned if I cannot sit here and tell you that things will not get better. Because they will. They will get better. It just takes time. It takes time. Sometimes the hardest things that we have to do is to realize that there is a strength within us that we don't have access to yet, and it pisses us off knowing that we can't tap into it. But you can. Quiet your mind. Remember what it means to be still. And from the dust will you be reborn. So much so that you become unrecognizable. And no, you will not do it out of hate, out of envy, out of pain to prove people wrong. You can use anger. I use anger all the time as leverage because it's powerful, but I try my best to not let it use me. You will be reborn from the ashes, unrecognizable. And people will see your greatness No, not to satisfy your ego. But they will see your greatness because you did the work. And because you did the work, it will allow them to believe that they can do the same. I say all of this because out there somewhere I am hoping someone, my words, someone out there just hears my words and says, I get it. Yes. Yes. Be a force for good and service. Treat the world how you would want the world to treat your child. Disassociate with your ego and your fucking pride and the hate and the anger. Let it go. When I make these videos, sometimes I'm not even talking to you guys. I'm talking to a past version of myself through a screen. Let it go. Life is way too short. You got a lot of good in you. No matter what you've done, forgive yourself. That's not who you are. It's just what you did. That does not make it who you are. And know this. Know that you are not alone because you are staring directly into the eyes of a broken man. A man who's let so many people down. A man who has let himself down. And a man that's desperately trying to find a way back to love. You are staring into the eyes of a man who has failed more times than he's won. You are staring dead into the eyes of a man who has given up multiple times. A man that feels really alone in this world. So he makes videos to feel less alone. A man that feels like he's misunderstood. And a man who has never gotten it right. You are not alone. You can do it. I promise you. You can do it. One step at a time. Slowly. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Never give up on yourself. And remain true to the core of who you are, which is infinite love. And watch as you embody that love and you nourish this human body. Watch how all of your desires will come to you. Yes, even your selfish ones. I don't know why it happens, but it does. You want the money? Ask yourself, who must I become? Don't ask yourself, what do I have to do to get the money? Who do you have to become so that you don't let that money fuck your life up? You are not alone, you hear me? I'm with you. Maybe not physically, but in spirit. And I choose to fight. And I choose to fight the good fight. What will you do? That's all I got.